Hello everyone, I hope you're having a wonderful day so far and I hope it keeps getting better from here. We're back with some Payday since it's been about a month since I've played it and I broke everything. Let me explain. With the first heist, 4 stores. 4 stores is a pretty basic and pretty straightforward heist. There's 4 stores, you need to steal $15,000. And I started with the China store because there is a safe that you can break into. Kind of the reason why the title is I broke everything. But not only is this heist pretty easy, but it's also kind of RNG dependent. Because you can either get a gold bar, which can complete the heist much quicker, or you can get just cash. Unfortunately for me, I got cash. And also, I was very rusty. Like, you can probably see for yourself that I was very rusty while recording this because, like I said, it's been a month since I played Payday 2. So, yeah, I wasn't at my best. I had to get into my groove. And one of the ways by doing that was by going down. But thankfully, Chains was there to help, and I got back on my feet. After a little while, there was a bulldozer. As always making himself presentable, because there's always one at least 1 minute, every minute. After getting the vault from the China store, I moved on to the tech store because there are 2 vaults in here. And I just think it's generally more safer here because the cops can really only go like 3 ways, which 2 of them are in the same direction. And later at the end, there was a turret. Yeah, this is very hard difficulty, and there's a turret. I thought these spawned on overkill difficulty, not very hard. However, I'm pretty sure Captain Winter can also spawn on very hard. However, you can correct me if I'm wrong. But I think I have seen before on Cook-Off that he can spawn on very hard. However, like I said, I don't know if that's entirely true. You guys can correct me in the comments down below. And in this tech store, there were a lot of bulldozers. Starting with 1 bulldozer and then 2 right after. And that's really it for 4 stores. Like I said, it's pretty straightforward. However, I did almost forget how to get to the exit because I thought it was on the other side of the building. But turns out I just ran past a door that I had to pick lock, and that was that. After that, I picked up the 5.7 AP pistol and moved on to Mallcrasher. Mallcrasher is one of my least favorite heists because it's pretty hard to tell whenever you're close to actually destroying the stuff. But this time around, it went by very, very, very fast. Like, I was frankly surprised I did this in the time that I did. But I want to talk about the 5.7 AP pistol real quick. The 5.7 AP pistol is one of few pistols that goes through shields. Yeah, a pistol that can go through shields at the cost of pretty low ammo. However, this is a amazing trade-off. Going through shields and armor is pretty big in this game. And I know there is a perk that lets assault rifle shots go through armor, but it doesn't go through shield. And that's the main reason I picked up the 5.7 pistol. But anyways, back to the heist. I was just going around trying to break as much stuff as possible. I broke cars, windows, stole cash. Well, I'm not sure if destroying cash counts towards the 50k worth that you have to destroy, but I just still grabbed it. And there were plenty of close calls in this one. But also to mention that the AMR-16 rifle, this thing is a beast, but it burns ammo like nothing. Like, it burns it like nobody's business. Like, I am constantly either at low ammo or no ammo, and I always have to resort to the pistol. And if the pistol is low, I have to resort to the rifle. But thankfully, the pickup for the rifle is not that bad. And I completed this heist within about 5 minutes. Yeah, 5 minutes for a heist that I hate. And this heist usually takes me around 10 to 15 minutes, but maybe I got back into my groove. I don't know. I don't know for sure. And this cloaker tried to be a little sneaky. He wasn't sneaky enough. He was wearing black in broad daylight. And I remember there was something about this in 4 stores as well. Because there was a cloaker in like the closet, which he didn't kick me surprisingly. And instantly killed him. And the way for the helicopter, it got pretty close near the end because I did lose a big majority of my armor. And they were just whittling away at my health while there was a bulldozer. So that was fun. So that's it for Mallcrasher. And let's move on to one of the quickest heists you could possibly do, which is Ukrainian Job. Ukrainian Job is basically Jewelry Bank, but slightly different. However, look how I messed up the first attempt. Yeah, I was about to hit this guard with my large spoon, but he cuffed me, causing me the first restart of the whole series. But once I restarted it, it was pretty boring. I'm not even gonna lie, this heist was boring for like the first 2.5 minutes. Because the first 2.5 minutes was just me grabbing the jewelry. That's it. Just telling people to go on the ground, starting to drill on the safe, which I broke into, and stole the jewelry off the shelf. It was, yeah, that's it. There were no cops, no nothing. Cops only showed up about 3 minutes after the heist started, which this is the longest time I've had to wait for officers to arrive on the scene. Once again, it's easy. It's pretty easy. All you have to do for this heist is simply start the drill on both safes, because the tiara is only in one safe. Pick up the tiara, and then just wait for the escape vehicle to actually escape. Like I said, this heist is pretty easy. However, we had to escape. And I guess this is the last part of the video. I kind of wanted to be a little brief with this one, because these were pretty short heists. I was going to do 4, but the next heist is a heist I don't really like. But anyways, the escape was fairly easy. Like, I really don't have nothing to say about this. I just grabbed the bags, put them in the helicopter, and that's really it for the escape. But at the end, I did get a weapon mod for the 5.7 AP pistol, which I thought was pretty neat. And before I wrap this video up, I just wanted to share my thoughts on the subscription that was recently added for Payday 2. $5 a month isn't terrible for all the DLC, but I think this is better for newer players. So, if you're a veteran player, or if you want to play the game long term, you might as well just get the Infamous edition. However, if you're a newer player, $5 a month isn't terrible in my opinion. From what I've seen, people thought about using a DLC unlocker, which even gives you access to stuff that isn't available anymore. Now, I know a lot of people mod this game, but I don't really prefer to mod. Sometimes I like the way the game looks without mods. And the only game that I've really modded was a game called Bloons TD6, but that's really it. I've never modded another game. I mean, I'm surprised they added another something you have to pay for a 12-year-old game. And I don't really think it should be a thing, because this game is 12 years old. And they also have Payday 3 to work on. And I think it's a little strange. But, I mean, it's good for newer players. And I'm glad that people can actually try out this DLC for cheaper. And that's really all I wanted to do for this video. I wanted to keep it a little short. So, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like. It helps me make more videos like this. Consider subscribing, because it helps me to know that you enjoy this type of content. If you like NASA articles or space, that will be the next video. So, thank you for watching. I hope you have a wonderful and safe day, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a good one, everyone. That pun was not intentional, by the way. Alright, see ya.